friends. It is the beginning of May and I wanted to start a vlog where I got just a normal weekly vlog, but where I'm reading books that are relatively short so I can finish quite a few over the week and not feeling pressured by a whole lot of pages. And right now I'm actually reading quite a bit when I get home from work, when I sort of sit down and stuff. So I think it's gonna be okay. I'm currently also working on finishing up another book, and I will be finishing that, but right now my Kindle is charging because it's almost run out of battery. So yeah, but I wanted to talk about 3 books that I'm planning on reading. I have a fantasy thing, horror, I don't know, I think it's Monster Hunt of some kind, a romance, and a short story collection that I've started but not finished, so I thought I could also sort of finish one of the currently reading books at the same time and not be too pressured about the number of things I have to read in a day. So the first thing I wanted to read is, like, this is the first thing that came to mind, the one I've been looking at for like so long, and I've wanted to read it for so long, and for some reason I've just not done it, and I've just not been adding it to my actual TBR. So they've been on TBRs, but I've not picked it up like for monthly TBR or whatever, or weekly TBR. But this is the one I'm gonna go, and that is Pet by Akwaeke Emezi. This is a short little book of around 200 pages. Epilogue. Yeah, 203 pages. The text is relatively large, so I don't think it's gonna take me super long to read it. And I just wanted to read the back of the book just to let you know what it is. It says, "Pet is here to hunt a monster. Are you brave enough to look?" So it's a monster hunt. Yeah. There are no monsters anymore, or so the children in the city of Lucille have been taught. Jam and her best friend Redemption have grown up with this lesson in all their lives. But when Jam meets Pet, she begins to question what she's been told. Pet has come to hunt the evil lurking in the Redemption's house. But how do you save the world from monsters if no one will admit they exist? So that is very interesting. I have Bitter, which is, I think, a sequel to this, so I could read that afterwards if I want to. The romance that I wanted to read is because I have been also eyeing this one for a while because I do really enjoy her writing, and that is Captivated by His Convenient Duchess by Laurie Robinson. This is a historical romance. I have read and loved The Flapper's Fake Fiance, the Sisters of the Roaring Twenties, but series by her. And this is also, I think, a Mills and Boon category romance. This one is close to 300, just over 300 pages, but the font is even larger than in the Pet book, so it's also going to be a quick one. This one, it says, "The Duke must marry, but not for love." It says, "Part of the Redford dukedom in an accident that killed her parents, Lady Anita," wait, that's gonna be weird. I never read any books with my own name in it. Anyway, has been left with a permanent leg injury at the mercy of her loathsome uncle. Now, his bartering her to the Duke of Redford is a new low, so when the Duke suggests a convenient marriage, she seizes the chance to escape. Miles is determined his new wife won't distract him from his ducal duties, but the woman who arrives at his estate is not the meek bride he expects. Society might have overlooked her, but now his spirited, determined Duchess is all Miles can see. Cute. I hope it's gonna be as good as her other books that I've read. And the last and final book that I decided to pick up is Radical Element by Jessica Spotswood. This is a short story collection. I'm halfway through it, but I'm gonna read 2 of the stories before this because I didn't rate them, so I don't know what they were like. And I mean, I remember not loving these as much as I did with the first collection of hers. But the last one I rated was the 4th one, which I rated 3 stars. But I have 2 that I read, one of them by Jessica Spotswood, who I usually really enjoy. So I think I'm gonna do that. I can read 1 story a day and have this finished by Sunday next weekend. There's 8 stories left. So I thought that would be a good idea. So yeah, so those are the 3 books that I'm picking up for this vlog, and then some audios along the way as well. I'm currently listening to The Scarlet Alchemist by Kylie Lee Baker. I'll definitely finish that quite timely, I think. And then I don't know if I'm gonna pick up another Kindle book that I can read in my bed before sleep, once I'm done with the Kindle I'm currently working on, or if I'm gonna try and find something on my iPad, like from the library or something like that. We'll see. I haven't decided yet. So, but these 3 are for certain, and then we'll see what else ends up happening. But this is my first intro to this vlog. I hope you enjoy, and hope you are interested in following along. Anyway, see you later. It's a little bit later, and I just wanted to let you know that I finished the next story in here. I don't remember the first stories. I don't want to reread them because I didn't give them very high ratings, but I did reread the one by Jessica Spotswood. I read something by Jessica Spotswood before, and I really enjoyed them, so I had really high hopes for this. And I couldn't really remember it when I started it, but then when I got through some of it, it sort of came back to me. I decided to give it a 3.5 star, this little story. We follow a girl. She is brought up in Tulsa in the 1905, and she is having a rough time with her uncle, with her family. She has a sister. She loves her a lot. He has a mother, and but her father sort of ran away when a long time ago. So since she was 5, she's been brought up by her uncle, and her uncle is very horrible and beats her and stuff, and want her to act like a proper lady, but she doesn't really feel like that. She wants to join the circus. That's everything she's thinking about. She's very much want to be part of the circus life, and so she decides to leave and trying to find a way to get into the circus that always shows up in this town in July. And so that's the story, and yeah, I think I would have wanted a little bit more from it. I don't know what it is exactly. I think it's just that not a whole lot of things happened. It was just a little bit of a talk about her wanting to be part of the circus, and her sort of fascination with the actors and people doing the different show bits, but without her actually having any sort of real part of it, if you will. So I don't know if that's why I don't give it a higher rating, but at least I read it, and I thought it was decent. So yeah, that was that one. I am gonna continue reading a little bit. I don't know how long, but yeah, this is my update for now. See you. Hello friends, it is now a couple of days later, and I haven't checked in since Sunday. It's Tuesday, so I wanted to check in and let you know that I've read another 2 stories in the Radical Elements, because I've decided to read one each day, as I said in the previous update. And I read one by, the first one I read was Glamour by Anna Marie McLemore. I've read a novel by her before and I really enjoyed it. Wild Beauty, I think. And so I knew that I enjoyed her writing style, and this was definitely no different. This is following, she just wants to be sort of a star. What does he call it? She wanted to be a star. Yeah, she wanted to be a star, and but she was born, I think she was mentioned that she was born Mexican, and changed her appearance to look different so that she wouldn't be looked down upon, so that she would be someone else. And so she's doing this, but she is, I mean, it's magical realism, so it's obviously a sort of magical thing that she can do, that she can make people see her in a different way. But it takes a lot of energy to make someone, like, so many differences about your appearance constantly. And the thing is that she's been ashamed about who she was and her upbringing, which is not good. And then, but she gets, and she talks about sort of a historical fling she had with this boy who has lost his legs, and things goes from there. It was a rather good, really pretty good actually. I liked sort of the message from them. I really enjoyed the male character in here, and I ended up actually giving this short story 5 stars. I wasn't sure if that was going to be it, but I decided to give it because I really did enjoy it. And the next one was A Better for All the World by Marieke Niekamp. I don't know how to pronounce her name correctly. This one I also enjoyed it, but I gave it 3.5 stars. There are some things about it I didn't really love, but this one follows a girl. She wants to become a lawyer, and she has a really good way of speaking, but no one is, like, it's like there's, I think the theme about all of these stories is that someone are trying to hold the girls back, and it's the first time they're sort of rebellion. They're all different. All these girls are different than everyone else, all the other girls, and it's sort of a trope that I don't really love and don't really enjoy so much. But I enjoyed this story, and I enjoyed the writing style, and I enjoyed our main character, and but it was a little bit of a very open ending. But I mean, it is with most of these stories, because it's like there are 20 pages, so it can't be a big conclusion and stuff. But it was a little bit strange. But I gave it 3.5 stars. So that is the update on that one. I've also made slightly little progress on Pet by Kweke Emisi. I am on page 52, and I'm super enjoying this so far. It's weird. It follows Jan. I was about to say Pet, but that's not it. It follows Jan. She is a young girl. She knows something about there's some monsters at one point, but she doesn't. No one wants to talk about them. And then we have her mother is an artist, and she paints paintings, very realistic and feral ones, but she's not allowed to sort of touch them. But she goes to study one evening, and for some reason she ends up bleeding onto the canvas of this painting that her mother has painted, and the painting comes to life, and Pet comes out, which is who we are here. So that's what I know so far. It's weird but interesting, and I'm very much enjoying myself. So hopefully tomorrow I'll get a good chunk into this, because I haven't had much reading time these past 2 days because I've had gymnastics after work. I mean, I do have sort of a smidge of time before. Yeah, but yesterday was mostly about cooking dinner, eating dinner, gymnastics, coming home, reading a short story, and read like a chapter of Pet. And the same thing I did today, but I also have edited a vlog. So I have been quite productive in that way. I also decided to start out on Fighting Words by R.S. Grey on my Kindle. Fighting Words is a standalone romance, coming sort of rom-com kind of romance. I enjoy my time with R.S. Grey's books. They are sort of fun, light-hearted most of the time, but they also have some interesting themes. In this one, our male lead is an author. He's a very popular author. He's been writing some science fiction books that were all over the place, and he's been writing a trilogy, and he is supposed to write the 3rd book, but it's sort of gone, I don't know if he's in a slump or something like that, but he hasn't really gone through with it. Sort of like, and they're worrying about it because it seems like it could go into be like a Patrick Rothfuss kind of thing, or George R. R. Martin kind of thing, where the last book just never gets published, and people are waiting and waiting and waiting, and getting more and more frustrated about it. And our female lead is an editor at the publishing house that he is using. He's American, but he lives in a small town in the UK. And she is coming to this town and finds out that the place that the publishing house rented out for her is like an abandoned house. It is completely worn out and there's no way anyone can stay there, but there are no hotels in the area. She ends up looking up him because there's no one around, and they're not able to sort of get anywhere. He sort of reluctantly lets her in, even though he knows who she is now, and he wants nothing to do with them. Her job is to try and help him outlining and getting him to publish, like finish up the last book. And he wants nothing to do with this. He's had like 3 or 4 people from the same publishing house coming recently, and none of them has really been able to do anything about it and changing his mind, because he doesn't want to force it. So yeah, I can get both point of views, you know. So this is where we're at, but we have already had sort of some funny little moments and some not so fun moments between them. Like he's been a lot of pretty angry with her at times, but I understand it, because he's like shows up at his home and he doesn't want anything to do with them, and he can't really get rid of her because there's nothing around in the surrounding areas, and he doesn't want to let his like be outside on the streets, you know. He's like a decent person. But yeah, I'm liking it. I'm not loving it, but I'm liking it so far. So we'll see how things turns out. I'm only 10% in, so I have quite a while to go. I don't think I'm gonna read very much from it today. So yeah, this is just what I'm reading before bed. It is the perfect kind of read before bed, because you don't have to think too much. So in that way it's good. Right now I'm gonna go to bed, both because I am tired and it is 11:15, so I should go to bed so I can get some sleep. I didn't sleep super well last night, so hopefully I'll sleep better today so I can be more refreshed tomorrow. I've had a bit of a rough day today. I have had some issues with one of my shoulders. I don't know what happened, but since I've been training quite a lot, something happened on one of the training sessions, and I feel like it wasn't like an injury per se, but it was sort of like I got the start of a crick in the neck, but without really going there. And since then I've just had issues with my shoulder over here, and then it seems like it's sort of going away, it's getting better, and then there's I get some workout done and then it's a little bit back. So I don't know if I'm gonna have to check out to see if I can get like a physiotherapist or something to look at it, so that I can sort of get it sort of removed, like the tension from the shoulder, because today I was feeling awful all day, like my sort of early day hours I was sort of all nauseated and not feeling well because of it. So but it got better after lunch. I sort of took some pain meds that helped a lot, and now I've been out for a training session and we didn't have anything shoulder related today, and I think that was helpful, hopefully. And now I've just tried to sort of use my sort of massager pillow thing on my shoulder to hopefully relieve some of the tension here, and hopefully that will help as well. We will see. But right now I'm gonna go to bed and see if I can sleep well tonight. That would be great. But it's been annoying sleeping on my sort of right side because of the shoulder. I can't really, I've been able to feel it when I lay like that. So yeah, anyway, long update, short, no. Anyway, this is my update. See ya sometime else, whenever I pop in again. Hello friends, it is now the 7th, it's Thursday. I wanted to check in because I have more to say. I forgot what story I talked about last, but I have read a story each day, and I don't remember when I checked in. I feel like the last time I talked about one was Anne-Marie McLemore's story, which I really enjoyed. Then I read Better for All the World by Marie Niekamp, which was about a girl wanting to be a lawyer. No, not a lawyer, but working in law in some. She was very much trying to do everything that she could do to make equality better between women and men in this time. I like that one. I gave it 3.5 stars, but it wasn't the best thing. Then I read When the Moonlight Isn't Enough by Donielle Clayton. This was this the one with, oh yeah, this is the one that was set around World War II, and in 1943, and she wanted to help out with the war, and started talking about the Nazis maybe getting there, and they've been moving around and around and around, and I think, and she was like immortal, like frozen in her age, but they tried to hide themselves constantly, her and her parents, but she wanted to help out. I didn't like that one. I gave it 2 stars. And then today I finished up a story called The Belle of the Ball by Savannas Tash. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing it correct. This is a story about a girl who wants to be a manuscript writer, and she knows she's funny, she knows she's good at this, but her parents obviously don't believe her, because that's the theme of these. No one seems to believe in these girls. They want to hold them back while they're trying to get to some places. But yeah, there's no solution to any of the stories so far. It's just the hope in the beginning, and we will see. I like this one better than the one before, but I didn't love it. I gave it 3 stars. So yeah. So those are the stories I've managed to finish, and meantime I'm on page 236, and I have 3 stories left, which is fits with with Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Today I also managed to finish up Pet by Akwaeke Emezi. This is a novella type story. It's YA. It's a monster hunt, and we're following. I don't know if she's selective mute, because I feel like sometimes she's speaking out loud. For the most part, she's using sign language, and it's super interesting. And she has like this great bond with her cousin called Redemption, and as I previously mentioned, she sets loose creature called Pet, who is helping her to find and discover and hunt the monsters, and he is certain that the monster is at Redemption's house in some way. So that's sort of the mystic intrigue. I enjoyed my time a lot with this one. I don't know why I struggled yesterday when I was reading. I was so tired, so I couldn't really focus on reading, but I really enjoyed this, and I think I'm ending up giving it 5 stars because it's so good. It's just a well-written story following an interesting set of characters in a world that's weird, but at the same time very interesting. And there are so many good quotes and things that I saw throughout this book, and I am looking forward to reading more by Akwaeke Emezi. So yeah, a great start with those books, like a good, really solid book. Today I also managed to finish the audio of The Scarlet Alchemist by Kylie Lee Baker. This is the first book in the, is it called the Scarlet Alchemist, and we're following a main character. She is dabbling in alchemy. She wants to be a royal alchemist, doing everything she can, and then she gets acquainted with the crown prince and has a hard time with things, and then suddenly she's actually becoming part of the court for the royal court. He says that she is his concubine and stuff. Like, It's sort of an alternative history set in China, where they tried to discover resurrection through alchemy. And this is a story if that happened, if they were able to do that and succeed with that, and how that will affect the world. And it was super, super interesting. I would say the beginning wasn't super strong. It was okay, I enjoyed my time with it, but it was very YA-esque. It's still very YA in the end, but I really enjoyed my time with it. I do enjoy alchemy as sort of a magic system, and it makes an interesting topic. And the political intrigue in here was done really well. The secrecy between people, and yeah, I enjoyed my time with that one as well. I don't know, I think it's a 4 stars for now. I'll have to think about it, but yeah, so I finished that one. And then I started on an audio of 7 Deadly Sequence by Julia and Lindsay. This is a cozy mystery. You can't see it here, but I'll put the cover of it. I am 42 minutes into it. So I started it more or less just before I think I started it when I left from work today, so that fits pretty well. I had 35-minute drive from my place to work today at the workplace. I was out with at a Cosmos, but then I had to go for a training session, so it fit with it being another 10ish minutes to drive out there and back again to my place. But it's a very short one, so I might actually be able to finish it tomorrow, because it's 3 hours in total in my speed, and I listened to 42 minutes, so I have 2 hours and 10 minutes. We will see if I finish this over this week. I have no idea. I don't know how much time I'll be listening tomorrow. I haven't been listening at the other days very much, so I don't want to force myself to if it doesn't fit in. Anyway, so that was my reading update for today. I don't know if I'm not picking up, if I'm reading more today, it would be from Fighting Words by Iris Grey, but right now I'm not planning on reading more today, because I'm going to bed in not so long. And then tomorrow I'll start on Captivated by the Convenient Duchess by Laurie Robinson. So romance. I love that the text in here is super large, so it's gonna be I think it's gonna be a quick one, even though it's like 100 pages longer than Pet. Pet had sort of shorter font, but still the spacing between is okay. But ready to read this tomorrow. I started, but I'm happy with my reading today, considering how it's been going the other days. And I am close to finishing the goals that I wanted for the week, so that's cool. Anyway, this is my update. I will talk to you later. Bye. Good morning or good day. I don't know what you say. It's 9 a.m. so it's probably sort of throwing away from the good morning to the good pre-noon. I don't know. Anyway, it's Saturday. I didn't read anything yesterday. I mean, that's not fair. I, in fact, actually finished all of Deadly Sequence by Julia and Lindsay, so saying that I didn't read anything is not true. And this morning I read something from Fighting Words. But I didn't read my physical books in any way or form yesterday, because I came home and I did some light cleaning, and then I had to go watch some gymnastics. It's like the last gymnastic event, more or less, of the year. We do have a show on the 5th of June, but otherwise it's the last event where I went and saw a bunch of, like, it's sort of the teams from the area that are considered not the elite. We call it Einshold, which is area teams. They are sort of bigger teams. So we have the junior team, which are up until you're 15, I think. And then we have 3 other, which are for after that age up until you stop whatever, and you feel like you're not good enough any longer or whatever, sort of, you don't have the time for it the same way or whatever. And they are Ynglinge, which is the lowest of the ranks, if you will, but they're still pretty decent gymnastics. It's not a bad gymnastic team at all, but it's the one that is easiest to get on, if you will. And then you have mini rep, which is sort of, you're really good, but you're not quite there yet, you know. But they're really good, obviously. And then you have the rep team, and the rep team are the best selected from the area to represent your area. And so those were the 4 teams that I saw yesterday. It's sort of the end of the season for everyone, and it was fun. My cousin is a pretty decent gymnast, and he is on the rep team this year. He's been on mini rep the past 2 seasons, but this year he has been on the rep team, and we obviously wanted to see him. Yeah, but I didn't film anything from it because I wanted to see some of his sort of tumbling and whatever he did, because we actually had pretty good seatings, but then he didn't, because I think he has an injury. So he didn't do anything like that. He was on the sort of rhythmic part of it. It was fine. And I mean, I've watched them now 3 times, and they've been really good every time. So yeah. Anyway, this was why I didn't get around to read much yesterday, because when I get home after that, I had to watch Trader, the new season that's currently running. So I didn't read anything, and wasn't really in the mood either. But right now I have some time, so I think I'm gonna read a little bit from a story in here, and I don't know if I'm gonna start this or if I'm gonna read both of the stories in here and get that done, so I can only focus on this the remaining of the day. We'll have to see. I am leaving in an hour because we are gonna go shop a birthday gift for my father and Mother's Day gift for my mother, because it's Mother's Day tomorrow. So we're in good time, okay? It's fine. My dad's birthday is on the 11th, so, but we are celebrating it on Thursday next week because that's a holiday day here in Denmark. Anyway, I'll get back to you later. Hello friends, it is now Sunday. Wanted to check it with an update and let you know that I finished The Radical Elements by this collection by Jessica Spotswood. I haven't checked in on the rating, but the last story was a 2.5 stars. So overall, it's definitely not a great collection, but I'm happy to have read it now. And yeah, I don't know if I'll keep them forever. I probably won't. I definitely prefer the other collection over this. This was just not as good. I didn't like the way that the stories were structured. Not the structure of the because it's chronological, so it's not a problem like that, but more of the, I don't know, it's the way, the vibe of all of the stories that's been off for me. There were only 2 stories in here that I actually really enjoyed, and everything else was mediocre or bad in my eyes. And I'm sad about it because a lot of these authors, I think they are gonna be good. I like a good, decent authors, but the writing in here, some of them were also a little clunky. So I don't know. I'm happy to say that I finished that, and I also have made quite a bit of progress in the Captivated by His Convenient Duchess. We are following, so weird, the main character, female character, is called Anita, but she has when she was 5-ish, she and her parents were in a fatal carriage accident with a horse carriage accident, where both of her parents passed away, and they were killed in the accident, and she were badly injured and broke her foot, and it never healed properly, so she's walking like with a limp and has sort of a, not a clubbed foot, but like it was an odd angle or whatever, so she has a really difficult time with that, but she's gotten used to it somewhat because of her, she's like 24, and she has been brought up by her uncle since then, and he's not a very good person. He actually treats her more like an employee rather than what she's supposed to be. Like, she's still the daughter of a duke, and so it's weird that she's been treated like this. But our main male character is called Miles, and he is the Duke of Redford, and he wants to marry a woman. It's because to obviously ensure the family, ensure the legacy of the house, and get an heir and stuff. He is running this estate, and he has like he's breeding thoroughbred horses, and is making a living of that, and it's a passion of his and his brother's. And he decides to marry this woman because he's intrigued by her, and he is known for taking in strays and animals that has had a rough time and helping them out. So he sort of there's some people that thinks that he's taking her in order to sort of but actually there are more to it from his side of the thing. But so far I'm enjoying my time with it. I have a good time with both of the characters. At this point they are married, so obviously this is a marriage of a convenience, and they became married like after the first 100-ish pages, and yeah, have been enjoying my time with it. I like both the characters. I understand why our female lead is a little bit insecure about things, because she's been mistreated her whole life, and she doesn't think herself a worthy partner for the Duke, because she's been told her whole life that she's beneath everyone else, which is not fair, because so yeah. But the Duke is definitely very fascinated with her, and they're both very attracted to the other. So I'm enjoying my time with it. I'm looking forward to seeing what's gonna happen now. I'm enjoying my time with it. I have about 150 pages left, and it's a relatively fast read. I didn't really get around to read very much of it yesterday. I think I was on like 80 pages, so I've read another 100 today, and so I will put a couple of hours into it now and have a good time with it, I think. And I found out that there's a sequel to this book following his brother. I'm definitely going to read that once it's done. I forgot the name of that, but it's something about him going to the US, so it's American. And he finding a wife over there, because that's sort of his dream to go there. So that's my update for now. I'll get back to some reading, and then I have to cook some dinner, and we'll see. I have laundry going, so I need to sort that out, and so that's my update for now. Woo. See you later. Hello friends, I wanted to check in and do my final update for the week, because I just finished Captivated by His Convenient Duchess, which by Laurie Robinson. This was a 4-star, so I definitely enjoyed my time with it. It's a good, solid historical romance. We have 2 likable characters, and everything's good in that area. I think if I wanted to give it a higher rating, I think I would have loved there to be a little bit more. I feel like it was a little too short probably. I think I would have liked it to have been a little longer, a little more pages. for me to fully get invested in this whole thing. But I'm happy I read through it, I'm happy I read it, and it's been a really good reading week. I finished 5 books this past week, which is so weird considering how, like, the last couple of weeks I only finished a couple. I know that I also read some really long books, and that's part of it, and these were relatively short. But sometimes it's just nice to have a decent amount of numbers as well, and also like books that I've sort of been eyeing from my shelf for a while, but just never had really a video idea behind it. And sometimes it's good to just sit down and have a mood reading where you want to focus on some books that you want to read like that. But other times I also like to challenge myself in order to sort of keep reading. So yeah, both of them work for me, and I'm happy I let myself read some books from my shelves that I just felt like, even if this wasn't a really good book, I'm just happy I have one of my currently reading books of my TBR, and I should be better at picking up the short story collection I have, because they're easy to fill in during the day. When you don't have a lot of reading, you just read one short story and that would be okay. Obviously would have loved it if it had been a little bit better, but yeah, all things considered, I'm just super happy with my progress this past week, and looking forward to seeing what next week will bring. Yeah, but this was my week where I finished 5 books, and I'm super happy about that. And yeah, let me know in the comments down below if you've read any of the books that I've been talking about today, and if you did, what were your thoughts on them? And what books did you read over the last week, and how do you also just sometimes decide to just sit down and mood read whatever you feel like at the moment? I mean, some people are definitely mostly only mood reading, and others need certain plans in order to actually pick up books up. So I'm a little bit of both, so I need to be aware of that when it happens. But I also constantly have some video ideas in my head, so I also feel like I want to get to those, and I want to yeah, so I don't forget about them, or I want to try it out before yeah, I grow tired of the idea. But at the same time, I also have to remember sometimes just stop up and read whatever I feel like at the moment. So I think it's going to be a good thing to just do sometimes. So anyway, this was my final update. I'll see you in another video very soon. Bye.